Hello. In this video, we are going to understand how to use C# loops. First, we need to understand why do we need to use loops. So, whenever in a programming language you are required to repeat one or more statement multiple times, in that case, you would definitely have to use a loop. Uh, there in C#, there are basically three types of loops. One is a while do loop, the other one is a do while loop, and the last one is a for loop. There is also a for each loop, but we will look at that loop when we look at collections. Now within a loop there can be one or more statement in its body. We call that a statement block. Now all the loops that I talked about, which is while, do while, and for, they will need to have a condition based on which your loop will terminate. If you don't have a condition in your loop, it will keep running. It will never exit. I think it will be better if we take a look at an example. So I have Visual Studio open. Let's create a console project. Go to File, New Project. I'm going to use a console project, C# language, and use .NET Framework project. Click Next. I'm going to use .NET Framework 4.6.2 and let's name it C# tutorials. Okay. Okay, so let's take the first example where we first understand the syntax of a while loop. So to write a while loop, you need to have the keyword while in use. Then within the brackets, you will put a condition. To put a condition, normally I would use an integer variable, let's say a counter, because I want to track how many times this loop is running. And in the condition, I will say counter is less than 11. Do something. This is what we call as a statement block. In this block, you can write one or more statements, and all these statements will be repeated as long as the loop is running. So let's write a console statement and print the value of the counter. So press CW and tab. It's gonna give you the console.writeLine. The combination I said was a shortcut. So I'm gonna use a $sign to format my string, I would say value of counter is, and in brackets here comes the variable where it will allow to print the value. After the while loop, let's put a console.readline so that our program does not terminate, otherwise we will not be able to see the output. Okay, I think it looks good. Let's try. I clicked on the start button. Now you can see that build has succeeded. Okay, now you see what it is doing. It is running indefinitely. All the value is not changing, because if I just hold it for a while, you see counter was set to 0, and while here we are checking the condition that as long as the counter is less than 11, keep printing this. In this statement block, we are not changing this value, so it continues, so it prints this statement. Let's correct this spelling. So it prints this statement and goes back again, and it checks counter is still 0, and this condition becomes true, so it goes again, and it keeps doing that. How do we make sure that this counter variable is changed? So we update that within the statement, the counter, the statement block, and increment it by 1. Now if I stop it and let's try to debug it first and see how it is changing and when it will terminate. Okay, so we have reached this. Now I'm going to press this button, which is, or you can press this button to step over. It will execute statement one by one. So right now counter is at 0. Now we print the value of the counter. It will be 0. Okay, let's see what got printed. Says value of counter is 0, which is good. Now at this moment counter will be incremented, which means we are going to add 1 to the counter. This is a shortcut for counter is equal to counter plus 1. We increment the counter, and now you will see the counter has become 1, and the block of statement ends here. After this it will go back and recheck the condition again. So now 1 is less than 11, which is still true, and it will keep going. Let's iterate for a while. You can see the variables in context are being displayed here in this window, this is called a locals window. Currently the value of counter is 6. Now it is 7. Now it is 8, 9, 10. Now let's check. Now it is at 11. Now let's see what will happen to this condition. We know that 11 is not less than 11. It is equal to 11. So this will fail. It means this condition will not return true. It will return false. So there you go. Now it didn't go inside the loop. It means it has finished executing the while loop. Now it is outside of that while loop, and it's going to process the rest of the program. At this point, it's going to wait for us to put any character or press enter. Let's look at the output, what it shows. So value of counter is 0, 1, 2, 3. It printed all the way till 10, and the moment it reached 11, 11 is not less than 11, so it didn't print 11. And now it's waiting for us to, for an input from the user. So we press enter here on this window, and we will let it execute. Now it has reached the end of the main, and it's going to exit. So there it is. I hope you like this video. I'll be making more smaller pieces like these to introduce you to the basic construct of C#. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.